YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Peabody, and I'm back with another one. So, it's a very touchy subject here. We're going to react to the plane crash that happened over DC. Got some footage here that we're going to look at, man, and break it down, talk about it a little bit, man. But before I keep going, man, my condolences goes out to everybody that was affected by the plane crash on both ends, in the Black Hawk and the commercial. Sad thing to hear. It's very sad. And like I said, my condolences goes out, man. But for everybody else, man, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the plane crash that happened. And let's get into it, y'all.
When it comes to the Black Hawk helicopter crashing into the American Airlines plane in Washington, D.C., there is actually something I wanted to talk about that I forgot to talk about in my previous video, and it has to do with what I saw and what I heard on the night of the crash. And it has to do with survivors from this crash, and like I said, I forgot all about this topic until I ran across this video by Strange Sauna TikTok.
So what happened to the 4 survivors? For all those who aren't aware, a Black Hawk helicopter flew into an American...
Hey, before he keeps going, I'm not even gonna lie. This is my first time hearing of 4 survivors. I thought everybody passed away. In the Black Hawk and in the commercial plane. I did not know they said there were 4 survivors, man. So that's new to me at this point.
Eagle plane on its way from Wichita, Kansas to Washington, D.C. It was reported last night that there were 4 survivors that were pulled out of the water. Yet today, it's being reported that there's no survivors at all. Check it out.
As we were saying, so far what we know is that there are 4 victims who were taken to North Boathouse Fire Station at Reagan National Airport, which is south of the airport, and that's going to be kind of the gathering point as first responders try to find more people in the waters and any potential survivors.
Others are finding it strange that this was a Black Hawk helicopter that ran into an American Eagle. Now, Black Hawk helicopters were named after Black Hawk, the Native American wartime chief. So you have the chief...
What I heard on that night, because as you heard in that video, the news report kept mentioning victims, but I kept specifically hearing that there were survivors. They were using that word survivors in the news. Then I started to look it up myself, and I was like, am I going crazy? Because I know I heard the news talking about there were survivors. Now I can't find any news clips. I can't find any articles, nothing like that. But luckily, I was actually able to run across a news clip of them talking about these survivors. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the news clip, but things are going to get very, very interesting.
Also, Paul Wagner is being told that they're being taken to the MPD helipad off South Capitol Street. So this is some good news that we know that those first responders are finding survivors there in those waters.
I mean, considering the fact that we saw the images from EarthCam of what looked like a fireball in the air when this American Eagle flight from Wichita, Kansas, as you're looking here, we're going to...
Before they keep going, man. What I don't get is how did the helicopter not see that bright ass light from the American airplane, well, the commercial airplane? How did that helicopter not see the light? Help me understand that. Help me, help me, help me. Because something is wrong.
To show it to you again, this American Eagle flight from Wichita, Kansas was supposed to land at Reagan National before 9, and witnesses reported seeing this fireball, and you can see it going into the Potomac River. We've been reporting tonight that there is a huge response on both sides of the Potomac tonight, with first responders, as Mark was showing us, in rescue boats, trying to navigate these dark waters in a difficult situation because of the unknown, but now news that there are 4 victims being taken to the North Boathouse Fire Station, and that's where any more victims who are recovered will be sent there.
Fox News would also talk about the survivors, but they would say that they were waiting for a confirmation. But this video is also very interesting because it gives a better look of how much time this Black Hawk helicopter had.
Into runway 33, I haven't looked at it, but they were clearly very close to landing. And the helicopter somehow got in the way.
Yeah. It did. John, stand by if you would. I want to bring in Armin Kurdi into the conversation because Armin is a specialty.
Look at it, man.
We don't have Armin
It's going
Kurdi.
straight
We're trying to get
forward.
him back. So, John, stay with us if you would.
Straightforward.
But
Know exactly what
we
you're
are now
doing.
hearing, John, that from the NBC affiliate, and again, we have not independently verified this, that 4 people were pulled from the water
After DC plane crash. So they are saying they actually witnessed the survivors being pulled from the water. The article goes on to say, and I will go ahead and link the article below, but the article goes on to say that at least 4 people were reportedly rescued from the frigid Potomac River in Washington late Wednesday night after an American Airlines plane crashed into a United States Army Black Hawk helicopter, a local news station reports, even though it was the other way around. But anyway, a local news station reports NBC4, which had journalists lining the river as rescue operations were underway, reported the survivors were pulled from the 34-degree water and taken to the North Boathouse Fire Station located at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. So again, they were there, they were lined up, and they were witnessing these survivors coming out of the water and being taken away. I mean, that is very specific. And given the fact that they are a news station, I wonder if they filmed these survivors, people being pulled from the waters, getting up and walking around. And they went to interview these survivors or the people that rescued them, and they said that they are taking them to the fire station, and this video footage was suppressed. It had never gotten out. They were told to get rid of that video footage for a specific reason, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I found this very interesting video clip from Fox News that talks about other video footage, but watch what happens.
In the news conference, also questions about how this could happen in the first place, how a helicopter would be able to collide with a commercial airliner, especially one that was being cleared into land at a very busy airport in D.C. We heard from the newly installed transportation secretary who said right now simply they have to focus on the search and rescue operation, but there will be that investigation led by the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, as well as the FAA, but it simply was too soon to tell what may have gone wrong. Yes, there's a lot of theories out there, and a lot of people are pointing, Jonathan and Kevin, to the video that has come out of this because what's so surprising is that that's not usual for us to see in real time what happened. But because this airport is so closely watched in D.C., all the local TV stations have cameras on it. A lot of people also, I've seen dash cameras from Ubers and stuff like that. There have been multiple angles of this crash caught on camera. That, yes, will be a huge help to investigate.
great teams. And
So as you can see, as he starts to get into other video footage of different angles and so forth, they cut him right off. Now, yes, there has been other video footage that has come out that does show alternate angles, but perhaps he was also going to spill the beans about some other stuff that was seen and recorded. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but I guess you can't take that risk. So the thing is, why would they hide it? If there are survivors, that would be great news. Why would they try to hide that fact? Well, I mean, I highly doubt there would be survivors on the plane. So then it begs the question, who was actually on that helicopter? Was anybody on that helicopter? And again, these are just my theories. It's just a theory. I'm not saying this is what happened. For all we know right now, a Black Hawk helicopter crashed into an American Airlines plane, and there was a heavy loss of life. News is starting to slowly come out and give the identities of those on the Black Hawk helicopter, but my thing is, what did this local news station see? Is it possible, because we did get news articles coming out that in 2025, DARPA would be testing the autonomous feature on these exact same helicopters. So is it possible that people were indeed on the Black Hawk, set it to autonomous mode, and jumped out? They landed in the waters below, and these are the people that news saw being rescued. Now, is it possible there were other people inside that Black Hawk helicopter? Because a Black Hawk helicopter can carry up to 12 fully equipped troops. I just find it very interesting that we are all talking about this helicopter being unmanned, drone, radio controlled. Again, is it possible that somebody or somebodies was inside the helicopter to a certain point, it went into autonomous mode, and they jumped out? There is also other interesting news that's coming out, like the Black Hawk being at a much higher altitude than it should have been. It should have been at an altitude of 200, but it was anywhere from 375 to 400, according to FlightAware. Then on top of everything else, we did have news come out that another Black Hawk a day before this one was in the flight path of another commercial airliner at the same airport. This video is from WFF News on TikTok, but it was also confirmed by the Washington Post.
What is going on? Look at this. Just 24 hours before the American Airlines flight 5342 collided with the Black Hawk military helicopter at Reagan National Airport, another separate American Airlines flight had to abort landing due to a helicopter crossing its flight path at the same exact airport. This was American Airlines flight 4514. And as you can see here, it can be seen on radar having to go around and make a second attempt to land because a helicopter was in its flight path. This just adds more to all of the questions people have as to what really happened last night in DC at Reagan National Airport. This event is currently under investigation, and when we hear more, I will report that back. But as always,
like I said, the Washington Post also confirmed this. They published an article on January 30th titled, "Day Before DC Plane Crash, Another Jet Had to Abort First Landing at Reagan National." The article goes on to say that just 24 hours before the collision of an American Eagle Flight 5342 and an Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan National Airport on Wednesday, another jet trying to land there had to make a second approach after a helicopter appeared near its flight path, according to an audio recording from air traffic control. That plane, Republic Airways Flight 4514, eventually landed safely. What are the odds that we have two back-to-back incidents involving Black Hawk helicopters a day apart, where they are in the flight path of a commercial airliner, to the point that one of them would eventually crash into a commercial airliner? The pilot would know their altitude. They don't need air traffic control for that. Even this article here from CBS News asks, experts ask why Black Hawk helicopter may have been flying above allowed altitude before it crashed. And this article goes on to say that they are military pilots. They are familiar with their routes. Why is it on this day on that flight they were as much as 150 to 200 feet higher than they knew they should have been? And that is a good question. This is giving more and more credence to the autonomous remote control theory. But at the end of the day, it's just so unfortunate that so many people lost their lives due to this crash.
All right, YouTube, that's it, man. It's hard to even watch the videos of it, man. It's really hard because it looked like it could have been avoided. It really could have, man. But it's easy for me to say because I wasn't in that pilot's seat. But like I said, the math is not mathing. It's not adding up to me. It's not adding up to a lot of people. Especially when a commercial plane lights are just the bright as the sun at night, and you say you didn't see it. I don't know, man, but hit the like button, man. Subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, man. Let me know in the comments, man, what you think about this. Like I said, it's not adding up to me. Something's not right. Something's fishy going on. Especially when it was 4 survivors. Then it went to no survivors. But you know the news station, they could be wrong too. We would never even know. We would never even know. Could have been 4 or 5, then all of a sudden 0. Who knows, man? But like I said, y'all, keep your heads up. Stay safe. Keep looking up. And appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all for riding with me. I'm out.